want to say good afternoon, and my name is Jennifer Craig. I am the Office of Dementia Services Coordinator for the state of Kentucky. And today I'm going to share with you a growing movement to establish state dementia coordinators and Office of Dementia Services across the country. Nicolette, next slide, please. So I want you to imagine this. So a family in rural Kentucky just received their loved one's dementia diagnosis. They're scared, they have questions, and they have no idea where to turn. No centralized support, no guidance. They're Googling late up at night, trying to piece together a care plan with no roadmap. Now imagine the same family lives in a state with a dedicated Office of Dementia Services. Within days, they're connected to caregiver support groups, a trained dementia care specialist, and local memory cafes. Their loved ones receive personalized resources. Their family receives emotional support, and they're not alone anymore. This is the difference that we're talking today. Next slide. Right now, 6.9 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's or related dementia. By 2050, that number is projected to nearly double. And behind each one of those individuals is often a caregiver, frequently a family member providing care day after day, often with little or no support. Each year, over 18 billion hours of unpaid care are provided by these caregivers. Let that sink in. 18 billion hours. By the way, that's the ones that are reported. We all know that there's other ones that are not reported. This isn't just a health issue. It's also a public health issue, a workforce issue, and an economic issue. Without organized statewide support, families are left to navigate a fragmented system on their own. They face delayed diagnoses, lack of access to dementia-capable providers, and no clear path or resources. And that leads to caregiver burnout, health system overload, and missed opportunities for early intervention. This is why we need this infrastructure, not just programs. We need coordination, strategy, and leadership. We need someone at the table who understands the full picture of dementia and is equipped to build partnerships, influence policy, and respond to evolving needs of people living with dementia and their caregivers. An Office of Dementia Services coordinator provides that anchor. They ensure that efforts aren't duplicated, that resources are targeted, and where they're needed most. And that dementia is seen not only as a side issue, but as essential to our public health and aging system. But if we're going to meet the growing need, we can't afford to be reactive. We need to be strategic, collaborative, and bold in our approach. So that is what a state dementia coordinator does. In short, their roles serve as a statewide hub for dementia-related strategies and implementation. They're not just managing a program, they're guiding the movement. On the screen, you'll actually see at our last Dementia Coordinator Summit last year. So this is who we all are. This is the face of the dementia coordinators. Some of the core responsibilities include developing dementia-informed policy, coordinating across systems from aging to public health, leading public education and awareness efforts, and supporting caregivers through structured evidence-based programs that offer connection, relief, and resources. The role is essential because dementia is complex. It touches almost every part of our health and social systems. And yet, without a central coordinator, these systems often operate in silos. That's why having a dedicated person or team whose job it is to connect the dots, break down barriers, and help dementia visible at every level of decision-making is not just helpful, it's necessary. Next slide, please. Across the U.S., we're seeing powerful momentum. More than 20 states now have some version of a state dementia coordinator or Office of Dementia Services, and that number continues to grow. This role looks a little different in every state. Some are funded through the CDC BOLD's infrastructure grant, which have been instrumental in helping states build bode-specific public health capacity. Others have gone a step further by committing state-level funding, ensuring that these roles are permanent, not dependent on temporary grants. And some states are building robust public-private partnerships, teaming up with nonprofits, healthcare systems, and academic institutions to extend their reach. It isn't a one-size-fits-all model, but these unities unite to help build this strategy. As the number of people living with dementia continues to rise, every state will face increased pressure on its healthcare, social services, and caregiving system. This growing national landscape shows that it's not only possible, it's necessary for every state to have a dedicated leader focused on this issue. Next slide, please. So now I want to look at what some of the other states are doing with their dementia coordinators. So in Minnesota, the Dementia Friendly Communities Act created a statewide initiative to promote dementia-friendly practices in banks, libraries, grocery stores, and community centers. ACT on Alzheimer's is a Minnesota initiative to prepare communities to support individuals living with dementia and their care partners. Since its inception in 2013, 60 Minnesota communities have established action communities. In Texas has been successful at combining public funds with private dollars to fund caregiver respite, community education, and dementia awareness campaigns. Texas proposed a $3 billion Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. It's called DPRIT, to boost dementia research with the goal of becoming a national hub for dementia research. And then in Florida, Florida Elder Affairs has a division of Alzheimer's and brain health led by their newly state-funded dementia director. It's administered by the Florida Alzheimer's Center for Excellence, FACE. FACE is the first of its kind administered by a state agency. FACE supports caregivers and people with Alzheimer's and related dementias in community using evidence-based no wrong door strategies and a telephonic support by their regional caregivers. These states just didn't wait for direction. They built proactive programs, and others are now looking to replicate. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about Kentucky. So in 2019, the Department for Aging and Independent Living made a bold move to establish the Office of Dementia Services, or ODS, what we call it. We love acronyms. This was more than just creating a new office. It was a turning point, and for the first time, Kentucky was centralized effort focused entirely on dementia. Our mission is clear from day one: support caregivers through resources, education, and connection, educate the public to reduce stigma and promote early detection, influence policy to improve systems and services, and most importantly, center the voices of those living with dementia in everything we do. Since then, we've turned this mission into action. We've launched evidence-based caregiver workshops across the state, giving family caregivers the tools they need to feel supported and confident. We've expanded dementia-specific training for direct care providers, ensuring that the people on the front lines of care are equipped to provide compassionate, knowledgeable support. We've prioritized data collection through tools like the CDC BRFIS modules and our partnerships with the Office of Data Analytics so that our programs are driven by real needs, not assumptions. And we started the journey of becoming a dementia-friendly state, working to build inclusive, informed communities where people living with dementia can thrive. From concept to reality, ODS is about building a better future for individuals, families, and communities facing dementia. Next slide, please. Kentucky has made some incredible strides in the space of dementia, and I'd like to share just a few of them. First, the Kentucky Dementia State Plan. This plan isn't just a document, it's a roadmap for how we build a dementia-capable state. It's shaped by input from caregivers, healthcare professionals, and community partners, and it lays out our goal through 2029. Every initiative we take ties back to this shared vision. I also want to share that before the Office of Dementia Services was formed in 2019, and I took this role on in 2021, the Kentucky Dementia State Plan had not been updated since 2017 and then 2008. So the Dementia State Plan was very outdated. I'm very excited that this was done this year. We also have seen tremendous growth in memory cafes. I do want to give a shout out to Kimberly McInnes, the MC for today, and what she has done with developing memory cafes in her region before she came to the University of Louisville. And these memory cafes are safe, judgment-free spaces where people living with dementia and their caregivers can connect, relax, and enjoy time together. What started with a few gatherings has now expanded into libraries, extension offices, and community centers across the state. We also have dementia care specialists. It's an initiative partnership with the area agencies on aging. And this is to train and support dementia care specialist roles that lead evidence-based workshops and provide hands-on guidance to family caregivers. Next slide, please. As ODS coordinators, we're doing vital work, but it doesn't come without challenges. One of our biggest hurdles is funding. Much of our work depends on grants, which makes sustainability and long-term planning tough. We're also building programs while simultaneously trying to secure the resources to keep them going. Another challenge is awareness. Many families still don't know what dementia resources exist or how to access, and especially this underserved in rural communities. That's where our role as connectors becomes so important. We also face workforce limitations, not just in numbers, but in dementia-specific training. Supporting professionals and caregivers in a systems that stretch thin takes creativity and persistence. But there's good news. We have real opportunities ahead. We can better integrate dementia care into broader public health efforts, ensuring it's part in dementia care. We can elevate the caregiver voices through mentorship, advocacy, and community-driven solutions. And we can innovate from vital platforms to partnerships that meet people where they are. Next slide, please. So now let me leave you with this. ODS coordinators aren't just program managers. We're advocates, bridge builders, and hope bearers. We meet individuals and families where they are, often during some of the most overwhelming moments of their lives, and help them navigate the complexities of dementia with dignity, compassion, and support. Every resource we share, every training we lead, and every system we strengthen is rooted in one goal: to make our communities more informed, connected, and compassionate for those living with dementia. The work isn't always easy, but it's always meaningful. Thank you so much, and I will turn this over to Nicolette.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. I think both of our talks really work well together because what I'm going to share is a lot of these types of resources that shops like Jennifer's create and help disseminate out into our different sectors. So I'm with the FSU College of Medicine, and while, of course, we're an institution that teaches new doctors how to be doctors, we also work with a lot of different types of settings. We need, we all need not only healthcare, but other community and social services settings that enable us all to get our needs met as we age. So today I'm going to be sharing a lot of different resources and materials with you that you can use in your communities and your agencies to help with dementia sensitivity and family caregiver support. Just to kind of quickly go over my learning objectives, You're going to identify dementia-friendly resources and multi-sector training programs, gain access to these materials to improve dementia sensitivity training and engagement with care partners in a variety of settings and contexts. And I'm actually going to show you an example of one of the training resources that we use and hopefully have some engagement with you all, kind of model how this training is delivered to first responders and family care partners. And I am just able to see the slides. I see some things coming up in the chat. I'm going to look at that really quick just to make sure I'm not missing something. Everything just disappeared. Okay.
It's okay, Nicolette. We're
That's
just
not for me.
troubleshooting some
Okay,
stuff.
got it.
Just
It's kind of strange just sharing the screen and not being able to see everyone. But y'all can see me and things are going well so far. All right. So what we look at, not only us, but our great partners that we work with, several of whom are Florida state agencies, including the Florida Department of Elder Affairs and the Florida Department of Transportation that you'll hear about in a little while. But the aim is to support it's our work and the work of our partners, where we're targeting different audiences to really help enable better care and support for persons with dementia and their caregivers. It's a goal to create an expanded network of awareness and assistance, and not just traditional settings that might be offering this type of education and services. So today I'm going to go over our first responders training, some dementia-friendly transportation initiatives and resources. We're going to talk about dementia-friendly library opportunities, reaching different business sectors, and reaching faith-based communities. All right, so to first get into the audience of first responders and family care partners, we need these groups, law enforcement, EMS, fire, and family caregivers, to really be able to improve their competence in interacting with persons with dementia in stressful situations. What we do with our training that we created is basically teach de-escalation skills, help people understand how to calm the environment, to help someone cooperate in the event of an emergency, to try to reduce behaviors that are just making a situation worse than it already is. It's hard when 911 has to be called. These can be crisis events. So how can we best, both groups, first responders and family care partners, best work together to minimize the harm that occurs to a person living with dementia? How can they work together and collaborate with one another? So this training covers communication skills, de-escalation strategies, and how these groups can work together. I encourage you all, if you like what you see today, you're going to get a little preview of this, to please share with your region's agencies. This can be applicable for the types of audiences that you see on the screen. I give this talk, I've delivered it myself, and our kind of region, our group of regional trainers across Florida have presented to fire departments, to sheriff's departments, community paramedicine, I know is a growing field to support, especially in rural and underserved communities, which is a really important pocket to get more education and support services available. So share with these audiences, with these partners. We would greatly appreciate it. Also can be used in family caregiver outreach. This can be a great thing as if you're a provider, share it with your patients. It can be used in family caregiver support groups as content for learning and discussion. So the REACH approach is what we came up with. It is an acronym to help in an emergency situation. It provides that effective approach to help an individual living with dementia. All right, so that's our REACH acronym. It stands for risk perception. So when an event occurs, and this again is applicable for both audiences, assess the risk of harm to self and others from low to high. We want to try to establish trust quickly with the individual living with dementia, with the family care partner. And this is really mostly done through our communication with them. So using short, concise language, be aware of your nonverbals, your body language, your facial expressions. Don't challenge their reality, practice empathy, give people time to process what's being said to them. Maybe try writing something down if verbal communication is not going well and it doesn't seem to be comprehended. Persons with dementia have different abilities. They are losing language skills. They have challenges with memory and thinking and judgment and reasoning. So we have to adjust our approach when we're interacting with them. We need to assess their needs. What does the individual with dementia need right now? Oftentimes, behaviors are a result of an unmet need. So is there something we can help provide them in the moment that would make a situation go a little bit better? What does the family care partner need? What can the family care partner, like, do they need referrals to a community resource? Do they need ideas to prevent their loved one from continuing to wander away from home? What do you need as a first responder to do your job effectively? Can the family caregiver give you some clues and hints that what could help you build trust with that person living with dementia that you're trying to do, a physical evaluation on, let's say? The REACH approach also talks about calming the environment. We underestimate how much the environment impacts persons living with dementia. They might be misinterpreting something. They might be overstimulated by too many people crowding around them, or a loud radio that's going off, or the TV on, or cell phones going off in the background. Can we minimize these distractions to try to help them feel a little bit safer, calmer, and encourage cooperation in an emergency event? And the H in the REACH approach stands for healthy partnerships, trying to create better collaboration between these two groups in the moment and after, for better collaboration and care for them and the person living with dementia. So hopefully this works. I'm going to show you all a video. This is one of our training videos. So what we have created are two video scenarios for two different, modeling real life situations involving persons with dementia where first responders had to be called to the scene. These videos go into, they work as a standalone kind of micro learning tool. They can be integrated into live trainings like this one, virtual presentations or in-person presentations. And again, they can be shared as a support group tool or just shared as a referral to, in your personal life or to your patients or clients. All right, so let's see. I want you to watch this video. It's about 5 minutes long, and I would love to hear or at least see in the chat what type of things you all observed went well, that the paramedics did and that the family care partner did to help the husband living with dementia.
Get out of here. Get out of here! Who are you? Get out of here! Oh!
We're getting sick. What's up?
William, are you okay? Honey, what happened? Are you hurt?
Get out of there! Get out of there! Oh, it hurts! There's a man in there!
It's just me, Helen. I'm here now. Look at me, it's Helen. Honey, I gotta get this. This is 911. I gotta get us help. Hello? Yes, my husband has fallen in the bathroom. I think he's hurt his arm or his wrist. Yeah, my husband has dementia and he thinks there's somebody in the bathroom with us, but it's just him and me. Yes, he thinks there's somebody in the bathroom and it's really upsetting him. Here's a list of his medication and his doctors and his emergency contacts.
Thank you. Is this his first time seeing somebody you don't see, that's not actually there?
I believe so.
Is he taking any new medications?
No.
Okay.
Where's Helen?
Hey, I'm right here, honey. I'm right here.
Hey, William. Hey, William. William, my name is Jason. This is Andrew. And we have Brady outside. We're here to help you. Are you hurting anywhere?
There's a man over there. Get him out.
William, look at me. You're safe. My name's Jason. That's Andrew. Andrew needs to take your blood pressure, okay? We're here to help you. Do you remember if you hit your head?
No, I don't think so. My arm, it hurts. Don't touch!
It's okay, William. We're here to help you. Can we get you to the stretcher? Can you stand with us?
No. Where's Helen?
I'm here, honey. Let these men help you. Honey, you need to get to the hospital. Let the men help you, okay? I will meet you at the hospital, honey.
Okay, William. We're going to splint your arm before we get you up, okay?
Yeah, I told William I was going to meet him at the hospital, but would you give him that picture? This is a picture of our old dog, Max, and he really likes that picture. It keeps him calm, and I usually give it to him when I drop him off at our daughter, and he holds it until I get back with him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get you some help.
All right. So I would love to hear, or at least see in the chat, if people feel comfortable sharing what they saw. What went well? What did the paramedics do that went well?
In the chat, we have Janet who responded. She said EMS changed the position of the mirror to try to eliminate the reason the patient is seeing a man in his bathroom. Rashonda said EMT practiced patience and spoke in a calm voice. Nicole made the comment that the wife turned the light off, when he was agitated to help decrease some sensory overload. Janet responded again, said the wife gave a photo that calmed the patient. Some other comments: spouse reduced the lighting, hid the mirror, love that they moved the mirror. They slowed down, made eye contact, asked questions, sending the photo of the dog along. Wife giving him the iPad, calm, did not argue. Good, repeated who they are. The list goes on and on. We've got a really attentive crowd, so.
Thank you all. Amazing observations. So yeah, there was some examples of calming the environment with the wife dimming the lights and turning the TV off. She also helped meet her husband's needs for transport to the hospital and helped to calm him down by giving the paramedics team a tool, that picture, the photo of the dog. It can be something as simple as that can really make all the difference if there's that, proactive and clear communication approach, how both groups can work together. You all picked up on the communication strategies, like getting down on his level. That can be so intimidating to someone when, maybe they're wheelchair bound or they're seated and you're standing and looming over them. So, consider getting down at their level. Eye contact can be really helpful to maintain that engagement with someone. They repeated what they were doing with him as, just before they did it to increase his autonomy and, knowing what's happening to him as it's being done. William was the main person. He reintroduced himself a lot. He was reassuring. He was calm. No one else spoke to not overwhelm and confuse William. He was kind of the main person that was to be interacting with William. Someone else said that, yeah, the wife had his medications and all his health information ready to go, to make sure he hopefully gets a, better continuity of care with that background info. And yeah, obviously this is, an ideal situation, but these strategies can really make a difference. So our video series has a scenario, and then it offers, which I'm not going to show you all today for the sake of time, but there are monologues from the first responder perspective and the family care partner perspective, sharing what they did in that situation, breaking down application of that REACH approach acronym and the different strategies to help in the situation. So we also have handouts that complement the videos. These can stand alone. They can work as standalone handouts. They also, supplement the training resource, the video training resource. They review key takeaways, such as minimizing distraction, some of those key steps to take when we're interacting with persons with dementia, not challenging their reality. That was another example in the video. The paramedics team didn't argue that there wasn't an intruder in the house. They simply removed that, the thing that was causing the stimulation or the reaction with William. In his case, he didn't recognize his older self in the mirror, which that can happen. So that's a way to calm the environment. So here's an example. We have handouts for family care partners. And let's see, next slide. So here's a QR code that takes you to our website where these videos live. You can access the videos, the key takeaway points and handouts, or you can find them on YouTube. Please share these with relevant audiences. We would greatly appreciate it. Reach out to me. I'd love to strategize how this information can be incorporated in your existing training materials or just ways to reach these different audiences with the content. Okay, we're now going to transition into the transportation and working around mobility with older adults and persons living with dementia. Driving requires a lot of cognitive processing skills. So this is a really important content area when we're talking about dementia education and caregiver support. This and these materials are from our partners out of the Florida Department of Transportation and Claude Pepper Center Safe Mobility for Life Coalition. And they work with multiple types of groups, all these different stakeholders that are responsible for aging road user safety and mobility. So I'm going to highlight a couple things that are available in this realm. There's training for transportation providers, clinical support tools for clinicians to better recognize when their patients might be moving into that unsafe to drive, how to have those conversations, and then also education for family care partners and older adults on safe driving and mobility independence. What is amazing about this group,
stuff I got done today while working.
They use really empowering language. It's never a focus of we're taking your keys away. It's quite the opposite. It's all around empowering people, making sure folks have access to alternative transportation options. They know what's available to them. They know how to access things. They remain able to participate and get where they need to go, just like you and I. So the materials we have hard copy brochures for transportation agencies, public transit agencies, even groups like assisted living facilities that have a bus that takes people around to run errands or to doctor's appointments, these types of professionals. There's training brochures on serving these types of passengers. It helps drivers or operators, as I've recently learned that they're called in this world, Recognize the signs and symptoms of a passenger that might be living with memory challenges or experiencing some cognitive impairment, like what you might see in this setting and what to do, how to interact with them, what kind, also, minimally, what type of resources are available to help these individuals. We recognize there's a lot of limitations that bus drivers have in really interacting with their passengers, but at least knowing what to look for and having some basic communication and interaction skills can really make a big difference. This brochure, the Serving People with Dementia for Transit Drivers, it's very general. I do think it's applicable to folks in other states. So let us know if you'd like some hard copies. You can also see a web version if you check out through the Safe Mobility for Life website. The second item on the screen here is a brochure for families or persons that are taking care of an individual living with dementia or maybe at early stages that is using public transportation. How can we help these people be safe when they're utilizing these services? This brochure includes a lot of information about wandering prevention. It's a little bit more Florida specific as it talks about our safe return programs, our Silver Alert, which is the public alert and rescue protocol, like an Amber Alert, for people with cognitive impairment that have been lost behind the wheel. It also has content around how to report an unsafe driver. But these things could, the model of the content here could be applied and adjusted for your state. So just giving you ideas to serve this population with this information. We're also working on training videos similar to the one you just saw for transit agencies to interact with those passengers living with dementia. So we're excited about that. The Safe Mobility for Life Coalition, one of their primary aims is, of course, to avoid traffic accidents and fatalities in adults over 65. So a big focus of their work is prevention and education with family care partner audiences and clinicians. So I want to highlight their You Hold the Keys workshops. These are presentations for family care partners to help understand the impact of dementia on safe driving, kind of some clues, what to look for when someone might be moving into that sometimes gray area of should they not be driving anymore? Is it unsafe for them to continue to drive? Conversation starters about how to have those conversations, tips for helping that to go well. It can be difficult. Also strategies for remaining safe in your car. So some assistive devices. There's a program called CarFit, which is really helpful. It's more of an occupational therapy approach to make sure people can safely maneuver and utilize their vehicle. So again, it's not just about taking people's keys away. It's really trying to promote mobility, independence, and safe driving skills. And also, we don't ever want to just take someone's license away or take the keys away. We're replacing it with an alternative option. So that's another key piece of this information. But the Safe Mobility for Life group has some excellent family caregiver resources. They have a page dedicated to serving this stakeholder group on their website. So if that's one of the your main client population, please check that out. The American Geriatric Society publishes the Clinician's Guide to Assessing and Counseling Older Drivers. The coalition has a big role in development of this guide, and this resource covers more of those clinical issues that lead to unsafe driving, helps provide screening and assessment tools for functional abilities needed to drive safely, helps people be connected to and understand the purpose of driver rehabilitation programs, and then advice and guidance around talking with patients about transitioning from driving. So this is a really excellent resource as well. If you weren't familiar with that, please check that out or share it with providers and clinicians that you work with. All right, moving around our sector circle to another audience, we're getting into civic and community resources, and we're going to be talking about libraries. Libraries really go beyond print and digital media access. A lot of times they can serve as a hub of trusted community center they can help reduce health equities by providing health screenings, educational programs, and linking social support services. Through our library work, I've learned a couple of our libraries have social workers on staff. They are going above and beyond providing books to their patrons. So this is a really excellent collaborator for dementia-friendly opportunities. A dementia-friendly library is one that is inclusive to persons living with dementia, and they provide resources and programming for persons with dementia and family care partners. So a lot of this work has been guided by the Dementia Friendly America. They have excellent resources. They have a library sector guide that we used as a model in working with libraries in Florida. But what we're doing is it's kind of a three or four pronged approach. It's training. It's increasing education, increasing knowledge about what dementia is, how to spot it in library patrons, how to interact with those individuals to have the best outcome possible, to help them feel safe, to meet them where they are. Also, how to make environmental changes so that it's easier for persons with dementia to navigate the space. Can you have signage to allow them to find what they're looking for on their own? Signage that can promote independent functioning. Is the lighting good? Is the signs at the right level? Is the entrance and exit, really obvious? The types of things that people overlook when they're not putting themselves in someone with dementia shoes. There's also we help people learn about different resources for family care partners and also help give them ideas for community and educational programming that they can host. This is one of the slides from the talk that I give to libraries, ideas to help them prioritize this population. Maybe you're putting out a display in November for Family Caregiver Awareness Month. Some books that you can have on hand. One I especially wanted to highlight today was the Pathways to Well-Being with Dementia by the Dementia Action Alliance. This is a really great resource. There's a bunch of information from persons living with dementia. Imagine that, right? Getting their perspective on something. And it's just so insightful and frankly really beautiful how they describe what's helpful to them and what they wish people would do, how they wish folks would interact with them. It's a really powerful resource. I encourage you to check it out. You can download free PDFs from the website and also order print copies through them. I think a new edition is coming out soon, but check that one out. Share it with your libraries. Have it on hand at your agency. There's a lot of other great books for family care partners. We have offered the Powerful Tools for Caregivers program as part of our grant activities, and I've helped provide those workbooks that go with the class to libraries. Things like that can really boost their collection to better support these members of the community. If you have resources at any time that you'd want to promote that are relevant to my talk, we can all learn from each other. Please put it in the chat. This is not an exhaustive list, of course. Another thing that libraries can do is promote having activities for engaging persons with dementia. We have partners at the Center for Applied Research in Dementia, and they do a lot of the work around Montessori-based care for persons with dementia. They've got excellent materials that are age appropriate for this population, to read aloud, to engage with words. And so check out their resources, trying to encourage libraries to have some of these things on hand for families to check out and bring home or to just use in the library. Memory boxes or activity kits is using reminiscence therapy type strategies. The goal is to just encourage engagement and positive social interaction for persons living with dementia. But definitely consider working with your libraries. Jennifer talked about memory cafes. They're a really great location to host memory cafes, to host a monthly caregiver support group. I imagine people on the call are already partners with libraries, but we've just had a lot of fun the last couple of months expanding the work with libraries in Florida, and I think it's an excellent targeted setting to collaborate with. All right, moving into another sector. So sometimes non-traditional settings or non-clinical settings can make accessing information, sometimes just a little bit more approachable. So that's where reaching some of these non-traditional settings can make a big difference. This is an initiative from our Florida Department of Elder Affairs and their partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. So what they've recently developed are some short, concise training videos that help everyday professionals recognize and sensitively respond to behaviors associated with memory challenges. The goal is to not, create a big group of experts, but just to promote awareness, reduce stigma, and help equip employees with tools to engage with these types of folks. By doing the dementia-friendly business trainings with new hires as an in-service for your staff, these businesses are really they're able to serve a wider variety of customers. They're going to, boost customer loyalty. They're providing more compassionate service if they can interact, support, and provide services to persons with memory challenges and be aware of family care partners. It's really a really exciting initiative. Please, if you're interested and want to check these videos out, they are targeting financial institutions, cosmetology, barbershops, hair salons, and realtors. So complete this form here and you'll be sent a link to the videos, but definitely consider using this stuff in your outreach as well. Okay. I am going into one of my last sections. I wanted to make sure folks were aware of some additional resources for working with faith-based communities. For many African American communities, the church is more than just a place of worship. It's really a trusted social support and health education network. So these two programs on the screen, Acts 2 and Alter, are designed to meet family caregivers where they are within the context of these settings. So the Acts 2 program is one of ours. They're started. Dr. Glukoff and Tamika Norton are the key team members of the Acts 2 program. They're with the Florida State University College of Medicine, and they offer free skills building and support services to care partners of persons with dementia. They include, their services include telephone-based skill building, information and referral services. They have awesome Facebook Live workshops about once a month or so. They do dementia awareness trainings. They will go out and deliver presentations to a variety of settings. And they do a lot of work with African American faith-based communities, training and recruiting community liaisons, doing outreach, and direct caregiver engagement with these groups. So check out their website. That's the Acts 2 program. And another that primarily focuses on African American caregivers within the faith-based settings is the Alter program. Alter is more of a train the trainer model, and they help faith communities become dementia friendly. They offer a Dealing with Dementia, a guide for Black care partners. It's a manual and a 4-hour workshop, and a workshop for community leaders, and guidelines on how to host community forums. So it's all about helping these places of worship better serve members of their congregation that are living with dementia and those that are taking care of them. We want people to still be able to participate in church in their faith-based communities. So how can places be more inclusive and allow for that to happen? The Alter program is in 18 different states across the country. So, wanted to make sure people were aware of Dementia Friendly America. They have done some excellent work. They have sector guides on various different sectors to help with dementia sensitivity and inclusivity.